Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. I am your host Miguel here, my co-host Charlie, and in this segment of the episode, we are actually going to go in depth, a little bit of a recap of this year's Star Wars Celebration 2022.
All right, so let's chat Star Wars Celebration recap.
All right, now it's time to switch it up and chat about the recap of Star Wars Celebration. I know we've talked about this a few times. We rumored it like when we heard things were going to come out. Then we talked about the official drop, but now we actually got the actual event and the actual Funko side of the drop. Overall, pretty much everything we saw was there. Essentially, not everything dropped like we thought, but most of the stuff that was rumored from a long time ago. And even
it's like the worst kept secret for a Funko convention.
The amount of rumors, and then not even rumors, let's say it right. The amount of leaks that actually came out of some of these things was like unreal. And the fact that we talked about stores that in the UK or wherever they may have been that actually had a lot of these pops in hand was kind of nuts. But yeah, right off the bat, we got the wave of pops through the Funko website. Which was on Friday, right? Last Friday.
Last Friday.
Which dropped, and we got all the original ones that we spoke about before, with all those pops, and then the actual bigger deluxe ones. Then we saw the Loungefly bag, which I believe the Loungefly bag was the first thing that sold out. Right,
I sold that immediately. Like I put that in my cart. Because I wanted the pop and I thought the bag looked pretty cool, even though it was just for display. Yeah. And that sold out before I could even check out.
And that was a limited piece, correct?
Yeah. Supposedly it was supposed to be limited to the pop is 3,000.
Okay.
But we can just get into that right now. Like,
yeah,
that's not actually on the sticker that anyone has. The one actually at Celebration didn't have it. And then the one for the shared sticker doesn't have it. And it doesn't even have the normal Celebration sticker. It was like lime green. I don't know if you saw that.
It literally looked like a shared like con sticker, which they make the like style of it too, which was definitely something a little weird. And I mean, it's not the first time they've done this. Now, I mean, obviously we don't know everyone, but I'm assuming all of them were wrong, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen anything.
I haven't seen anyone that has a correct one. So yes, I'm assuming they're all wrong.
Because the reason I brought that up is because the Russo brothers, I know some people weren't getting that one with the limited sticker when that con came out. And I know the one I got had it. And I did see kind of a mix. So I think it was like a mistake on a certain batch or whatever it was. But this obviously was just completely done wrong. So that kind of sucks because then it's like, was it really limited? Did they really just mess up the sticker? If it wasn't that, I mean, it sold out super fast. So I would assume it was limited, or if the amount of stock that they had must have not been as much. So maybe that was true. But it was definitely one of the first things to sell out. And then some of the like concept ones, right? Those were like the next ones that kind of sold, which I was surprised those sold out next.
Yeah, they sold out. Me too. But the reason I think that happened was because they're shared too with Shop Disney, and Disney World. So it's weird because they also then they actually don't have a Celebration sticker on them. They have a Star Wars 45th anniversary sticker and then a Disney, like the Disney Parks exclusive sticker. So I think they kind of just like threw them in this.
Okay. And so it wasn't necessarily supposed to be. Yeah, because I don't think we've seen this in our like talk of
this. No, it wasn't. People weren't having these really. It kind of came later when official images came out. And I know they haven't even gone on sale yet in Disney World, Disneyland / Shop Disney. It's rumored to be happening sometime this week.
Oh, so they didn't even have them on there. So essentially
you can't even get them yet.
Because Funko, when they do is obviously, if you guys don't know, when they have this shared and they sell it themselves, it's obviously divvied out that inventory to like them and then whoever else is selling it. So whatever they had must have been a little bit more limited than your general common, piece. So it obviously sold out faster in that case. But at least if you missed it, you have an opportunity through Disney World, Shop Disney, and that kind of stuff to pick that one up. But there's two of them, right?
Yeah, there was an R2D2 and C3PO, which is actually just a repackaged 2-pack. Those two pops already exist.
Yeah, I was gonna say that mold looked very familiar.
Yeah, so these are based off of like the Ralph McQuarrie, like the original concept art for the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
This is one of my all-time favorite lines. And even though I think they kind of shit on shelves, you have to be probably a pretty hardcore Star Wars fan to
I was
like
gonna say
them.
not many people really love them.
They don't get it. But the Vader one is kind of a new mold. He's holding his lightsaber a different way.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that makes it different. But it's still I actually love the Vader pop. Like I want to try to get that.
I was gonna say, of all the pops, and we've talked about this before, and we spoke about how Vader is so like redone, it's always all the same. This version definitely looks different. So like it's not your traditional, like his helmet definitely looks different than the actual Vader. So like it's cool because most of the Vaders look pretty much the same. So this is a good way of getting it like a concept, and it does look different. So you could, display it out a little bit differently. But yeah, I was a little shocked, but I guess that makes sense that they maybe didn't have as much inventory of that those went pretty quick. The rest of like the generic ones went pretty well. The Lando one I think was up for a little while, which is obviously a little bit more expensive because that's a pretty big,
they all ultimately sold out, besides weirdly enough the Luke Skywalker soda. But I think that's because it's weird, they have their allotments, but that actually never made it to the show. You couldn't actually get that. So part of me was like, did they take that allotment knowing it was never going to come to the show and put it all on their website?
Yeah, which totally could have been the case. And I mean, it was a big piece count. It was like 20K, I think, which is
so funny. So huge. Even like my wife noticed a picture of him and she goes, that's a pretty big, like, who she only knows his stuff. They made a lot of those. I'm like, it is a lot, especially for then even like a con pop. But I think they just want
for it being like more exclusive, which obviously
there's nothing exclusive about these. They're just cool.
But I think the Boba Fett had less. I think that was like 19 or something.
Yeah, not by much.
Yeah,
it was. I think 19 because people were like, "Why didn't they just make it 20?" Like, just to have it like a random number.
It was weird, and it's not. I mean, obviously, if you guys don't know, this is technically the second Luke Skywalker soda.
Yep.
It's more of like that comic style look, which we've gotten in pop form. It was actually almost exactly like the pop, but soda style.
Yeah.
But the other Luke was more of just like, is going to be just a generic one, which I don't think that has officially dropped yet, except for international cans, which obviously
the real ones. Internationals just aren't real cans. So if you collect international sodas,
yeah, the actual real one hasn't come out yet. But we're still waiting for those. But these I was under the impression they were like blacklight, but they're not. But then again, when I saw the pops came out, I thought they were also going to be blacklight just because like the color.
They should have made them
but they should have at that point, right? Like they love blacklight, so it's like you might as well. It's almost like a cop out where you could have done it. But yeah, the only two things I actually grabbed were the sodas. So I went on and grabbed the sodas. Like all cons, even though this isn't like the big major Funko cons, but it was still somewhat of a convention. They only limit you to one, which they always do that with all the other stuff as well, which kind of sucks when you're a soda collector because obviously there's chase options. So you would love to get two. So that's the only thing that's kind of a bummer, but it happens every year anyway. So I did get one of the Boba, one of the Luke as the sodas. Didn't grab any of the pops. I'm being very, very selective with the pops, but was a fan of some of them, but I didn't get any. What did your cart look like besides the
I mean, I got most of them. I mean, Star Wars is my number one collection. I love these pops actually a lot, and I know there's been like kind of some hate on them in the community, being like, these are plain, there's nothing special about them. Like, to me, like, I love this Luke Skywalker pop so much, like, and they have never made a mold like this. Actually, this truly is a new Luke Skywalker pop, and like, this was celebrating like the 45th anniversary of Star Wars. Like, that's why they're all from A New Hope, that major line of the pops that came out. And I mean, the Chewbacca one is kind of the same. I feel like they do the same thing with Chewbacca that they do with Vader, even with the Stormtroopers, even though the Stormtroopers get a little more detailed as time has gone by. But I loved them all.
But like that style of the mold and the stance, I don't feel like it changes enough. Unless you're a really good, like it, like the movies, the show, whatever it is, or like you really look at it, if you were to like glaze past 5 different stormtroopers, I feel like you would think they were all the same.
Yeah,
am I wrong with that? With that one specifically, I feel like.
Yeah, that's fair. This definitely looks like one they've made. Like I have like the 10-inch
The
one.
10-inch. I was gonna say
it looks the same, but I don't. And I have like a lot of Star Wars. I don't think they make a like normal sized pop in this mold that looks like this one.
Okay.
Which I know it's a repeat mold. We've talked about this before. Like they make them like sometimes they take the normal pops and make the 10 inches look exactly the same. All they did was do the reverse. And I love the Leia one too. The only thing, like, I don't understand why there's not a Han Solo pop in this collection. The first thing that just pops to my mind is, which I don't think is true, because with the new Indiana Jones movie coming out, there's no way in hell we're not getting Indiana Jones pops. But is like, does Harrison Ford not want his likeness anymore with Han Solo stuff? Like, not having a Han Solo pop makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, I would love to know the reason for not having one. Whoever made this collection and didn't put him in this it's ridiculous in my opinion.
There has to be a reason though, because when you say it, like, it's almost like one of those obvious things that's like, there's no reason why. It's just like, we're not going to put this in there. And it's almost makes you think, like, is that the case? Like what you said about Harrison Ford, because we also, not that we would need it yet, but we would assume we would have one already, is we don't have the soda yet either.
No. Yeah.
And like Han Solo is like a core enough character that if you're coming out with all these other ones, like, he should be in that mix.
They haven't made a new Han Solo pop in a few years.
And that's what I was going to say. It's like, it is pops in general, or Funko in general at that point. It seems like they haven't. So maybe there is something that we don't know. If you guys know out there in the community, let us know. But that's a good, like, like thing that you notice, because it could be that. But yeah, like you said, if Indiana Jones stuff is coming out, and we've already seen kind of some rumors that we're going to get some stuff for Indiana Jones, like, then what is the exact reason? Is it just like him not wanting to be Han? Like,
which like, I don't, because
that's Han himself, but I don't know. It's kind of odd. There's got to be something, or maybe, I don't know. But that's one of those ones that
it's got to be something. It's not a coincidence.
It's not a side character that you're like, we don't have to make this if we don't want to. It's like, come on, you're doing Chewbacca. Like, how are you not doing Han Solo? Like,
yeah. And then we we obviously got the R2D2 version. That was the glitter one that came with the bag. I'm surprised we didn't get a C-3PO one, but I guess they can say, oh, he's in that, concept art version.
Yeah.
It's coming with 2-pack,
which is still okay. Yeah.
But then the other one we haven't brought up yet, which I wasn't obviously able to get, which there was a lot of confusion, was the Grogu glitter, which that does have a piece count and the stickers are correct. But
that was at the show only, right?
At the show only. But when they kind of showed their, when they kind of show like their shared exclusives, they said it was Reed Pop, which is the company that throws the conventions. And what they meant was you could get that at the Reed Pop store at the convention. Okay. But the way I look at that, and as the whole community did, they were like, when's it going up on the Reed Pop Star Wars Celebration website to buy? Like, because sometimes you can buy some of the merchandise, not everything. So they dropped the ball on that. I mean, I think it's fine. Like, I didn't get to go to Star Wars Celebration, but I like that there's stuff you can only get there.
Yeah, no, of course. And that's how all conventions really should be, even though it would suck and it's a bummer not to get out to them, because, you can't always get to all of them. It's a good thing to kind of have for the people that were able to, and kind of, reward them with something even more exclusive. Like, I feel like conventions used to always do. So it's kind of good that that's a thing. But like, just, off the top of your head, like, what do you think about the fact that Grogu was even kind of in this when everything else was so OG?
That's what I was about to say. That should have been C-3PO. In my opinion. I think they're just capitalizing on the popularity of him. But the thing that, in my opinion, it doesn't matter, especially people who like, I've said this a million times, like, I collect because I love to collect. But if you're someone who's just trying to make a quick buck or want something that's super limited, like, this sold out immediately because it was that. Like, it didn't matter what character it was. This could have been the ugliest pop ever made. And a lot of people don't like glitter pops. It didn't matter. It's
happened with all the Pokemon pops.
Yeah.
And you think about how crazy expensive they've gotten, and they weren't necessarily the most popular, and there were the glitter ones. So like totally can see that happening with
And it just
this.
sold. It's funny because I saw images of people who were at the celebration. It was kind of just like they all were out in the middle of the store. I think they sold out pretty quickly, but I do think they replenish them every day during the con. But another pop that they, found extra of was the Obi-Wan holographic pop from the last Star Wars celebration, and they put that out, and like people got that pop. That's a really expensive pop.
Yeah, that was a
highly
super
coveted
good grail. Yeah.
Yeah, and that came out during the you had to like win a lottery to be able to get a chance to get that. It was like during the pandemic. So that's a really highly sought after pop. So I know people were going nuts over that. That obviously didn't get replenished. That sold out like immediately.
Yeah. But that's interesting that those, like, what's that going to do to the value and all that kind of stuff? Because now it's not as.
I already noticed it kind of went down. It's still super expensive, but yeah, I'm happy you brought up the Grogu thing because I was thinking that as well. I mean, I love him, but it kind of was at a place. But then so were the sodas. Like, I think the sodas being the comic were just weird. I would have just picked another character that we haven't been announced yet. That would have been special. And speaking of the sodas, I know we were talking about this, off air, but I've been seeing a bunch of pictures online, and if any of you went to Celebration first, just drop that in the comments. I would love to know, how it was. But if you're able to pick up the soda, the Boba Fett one, when we first got like glam shots, official ones from Funko, they showed the chase for both the Boba and the Luke being like what the holographic glow in the dark pops look like.
Yeah.
People are like posting that they got the chase, and I have not seen a real picture yet of a chase of what the chase is supposed to look like. It just looks like the common, and they're saying it glows in the dark. I haven't actually seen it glow in the dark, but then that leads me to believe, like, one, are these people who, because I think I actually saw some of these pictures in some of my like Star Wars groups I'm in, not necessarily Funko. Do they have no idea it's just a wrong pog? Or which is, we all know has been known to happen, or did they like change the
like
the
what the chase is. Yeah.
And it is just glow in the dark of the common. So if any of you listeners, or if you're watching this, like if you've seen these images, or if you've seen a real one, or if you have a chase, like let us know. Like I'm just curious. I mean, I'm probably going to get mine soon.
We're still waiting for ours, so obviously we'll be able to see for ourselves, I guess. But it is interesting to see because those were the pictures. It was supposed to be like that blue hologram.
Because if that
that was just saying it was glow, but it looked too much like it was.
They've never done that before, so that makes me believe like when it says it's glow, it looks what it's going to look like, and it just has like a little glow silhouette around it. But if this is wrong, there's a lot. What I'm getting at is there was a lot of mess ups for this convention. If this is wrong, the sticker being wrong on the R2D2, and then product that has been leaked that like we're going back to New York Comic-Con style that didn't make it to the convention, that is going to come out, and it's going to be weird when you get like, we're going to talk about the Wampa Soda leader that we've talked about, which is going to come, and it's going to have the celebration sticker on it. It's just weird.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. So obviously the Wampa Soda. So we had talked about this because obviously it leaked. This was already was a red flag because it didn't drop with the official drop. It wasn't even leaked with the official, like the leaks we got early on. It was after everything was already talked about with Celebration that they were like, oh, there's also going to be a 3-liter soda now. Funko's making 3-liter sodas with the Wampa. And we were like, oh, that's pretty cool. But like kind of random that it was after the fact, and that Funko themselves never released that. So then it was like, well, is this real? Is it actually, just a fake thing? Supposedly it is real, and it's just something that's delayed, that got stuck with shipment somewhere, whatever it is, which obviously we know that stuff has been happening. It's surprising that it's still happening this much, but it's the exact same thing as last year's New York Comic-Con, where we were talking about how we got these other pops and they came out with another random, convention. They started dropping them with the whole sticker fiasco. But now I think the latest thing I seen was like July, August-ish is when like these are supposed to come out. It is the 3 liter soda. Like I said, this is the first one that was ever, like shown that's going to be coming out by Funko. And, we talked about maybe other ones that might come out. But yeah, that. And then there was also a t-shirt that was officially announced that didn't drop as well, which I thought was also kind of
I was super excited for this t-shirt actually. It had like Freddie Funko basically as like the Jedi / Luke Skywalker. And yeah, I don't think it was at the show. I haven't seen anyone talk about it. And then they did ultimately, it didn't go up on the site either. So that's another product that they actually officially, like you said, they officially announced this. They showed an image, and it doesn't, the real con happen, but then part of me is like, is this a con exclusive? But I know for the Freddy's Beach Bash, I actually think you bought the shirt from the website, and so you didn't go to it. So why wouldn't they have sold this one?
Yeah, and I haven't seen anyone showing the t-shirt.
Exactly.
So it definitely wasn't.
Yeah, it's
so I don't know. We'll see.
There was a lie that the shipments got stolen. If that did happen, that's really messed up.
Who knows? There's been some crazy fiascos with shipments and like all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be crazy. But obviously, Star Wars Celebration also talks about a lot of new things coming in the Star Wars world and shows and stuff like that. So we have a ton of stuff that we're going to be looking forward to on the Funko end of things, because I'm sure we're going to be getting a lot more pops for a lot of these new shows and a lot of stuff that was announced. Specifically, I know I don't know if you have like a list or a couple things that you want.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of just ramble them off my head, but I mean, we got Andor coming out, which is essentially a prequel to Rogue One. That's going to, drop a ton of pops, I'm assuming, and they've already announced the second season. They've we all knew Mandalorian season 3 was coming. That's coming February of next year, so we're gonna, that line will just continue to grow. We're getting Bad Batch season 2, we're getting Ahsoka, we're getting Tales of the Jedi, which is a new anthology animated show, but it's in the style of Clone Wars, and it's gonna be have, I think, it's going to be 6-episode series. 3 of them are featuring Ahsoka. Some of them have like the origins of Qui-Gon Jinn and Count Dooku. Like, this is going to be for like the pretty hardcore Star Wars fans, but it looks awesome. We got Vision season 2 that got announced.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
And we've already gotten some pops for them. They don't seem to be selling very well, even though I really like them. It looks like they've become like the ones that just sit on the shelves at Target. But we'll be getting more stuff for that. They announced the Skeleton Crew, which is going to be another Disney Plus show. It's actually starring Jude Law. And that's going to be connected within like the Mandoverse. Okay. It actually, it is being, I'm trying to remember his name. It's created by John Watts, who's actually has directed all of the Spider-Man MCU movies. It's actually why he dropped out of the Fantastic Four. Like, people are like, oh my God, like, why is he leaving Fantastic Four? He, he's going to go do whatever his next big dream. He's already tackled Marvel. He's going to go, he's creating a show with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. So that's going to be awesome. We got a lot of good news on the Disney Plus side. They haven't officially announced like any movies, which as a Star Wars fan is like, what the hell are you doing? Like, they made a big deal that like, we haven't been in Celebration a few years because of the pandemic. This is going to be like the greatest celebration ever. A lot for someone like me who like is a hardcore Star Wars fan, who like reads everything, knows everything, listens to this, watches that. Like, the Skeleton Crew is actually probably the biggest surprise. I knew John Watts had a show coming out, but like the title, but they didn't announce like anything crazy. It was like, we knew Ahsoka was coming. We knew Andor was coming. We got to see the trailer, which is awesome. But regardless, we're getting a ton of pops. And we're also getting the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, the video game, which is a very beloved game, which is awesome. That up too, So it's Jedi Survivor, and we had pops for that game. They, they're normally that had some common releases, and GameStop normally gets a lot of exclusives for all the Star Wars games. We're going to get more pops from that too. It's just, if you're a Star Wars fan, like, you're going to be eating pretty good for a while, especially at Disney Plus. So,
yeah, which is funny. Like you said, there's nothing movie wise, which is a bit surprising, but it seems like they really are doing well with the Disney Plus, show side of things. And that's kind of obviously their, like, where they're going for the future, I guess. And I mean, if you think about it, it kind of is a better way of them like kind of spreading them out throughout the year. They can like do multiple things and cover more bases. So that's probably their, reasoning behind it. And they have been very popular with, Mandalorian being the one that kind of kicked everything off. I think that, I could see them continuing to do this, but yeah, hopefully they do throw out some movies.
I kind of want them to bring this. This is going back now to Funko with Star Wars. I feel like now they can bring the Smuggler's Bounty box back.
Yeah, which is interesting that they don't,
kind of trashing the collector core, but I mean, some of the real, like the battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar, which came in the Smuggler's Bounty, is like one of the hottest pops right now, and the value for that is skyrocketed. So it shows like some of those pops are highly coveted ones, and
because they were a lot more exclusive. Like that was the only one that was like that. So.
And maybe, they bring it back and it becomes just like the Marvel one, probably. But they at least now have like, once Rise of Skywalker came out, that they stopped making the boxes. Now, like they steadily could probably make a box because of all these Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
It's weird because at one point Amazon put a link up to buy it. This was a few months ago. Like people were like, oh my God, the box is coming back. And people were like, it's not coming back. It's a mistake by Amazon. People order it. It was supposed to get it and like haven't yet, which leads me to believe it's fake. But part of me is like, is it coming back now? And someone put that listing up by mistake. I mean, there's just so many shows like now we're going to be getting like I said, between when Andor's coming this year, then we're going to go straight in. Like they could have had an Obi-Wan box. We're then going to go straight into, we'd have the animated series. We are then going to have Mandalorian again. Like there's stuff for it. Yeah. So like, I feel like we should get that box back.
Yeah. That would be interesting if they do it. It'd be a good time to do it. Like you said. But yeah, Celebration was pretty packed with good stuff. I mean, definitely if you're a Star Wars fan, if you're on the Funko side of things, we went over kind of what did drop, but I think more, what's more exciting is what's to come. Yes. Because we know how much different Star Wars shows are coming out and different, material that they have now that obviously will translate over into Funko. So we'll be looking out for a bunch of that stuff, but let us know, like always, comment down some of your favorites from the Celebration. And if it's like show wise, like what are you excited for? And especially when it comes to Funko, like which Funko Pops do you want them to make based off of some of these shows that have been out or some of the stuff that's going to be upcoming and what's, you're excited for. But that's going to be this Star Wars Celebration segment of our podcast.
Yeah. And if you are, watching us on YouTube, make sure you please like, comment, and subscribe. And we also, we always put exclusive content onto our YouTube page. So if you're listening to us on the podcast, make sure that you head over to our YouTube page, and we're going to have an unboxing video coming up. So make sure you check that out.